everybody and welcome. Today's video is about the Lion's Gate, and I know that there are a ton of videos, a ton of people talking about Lion's Gate, and initially it wasn't really something that I even planned on talking about, but the Sphinx, the presence of the original template of the Sphinx, the lioness, she came to me and she said that there is something to be shared. So I sat with it, and the past couple of days have been a lot of energies that has been moving through the collective, moving through our plane of existence, moving through Earth. It's something that we have not received before, frequency bandwidth wise, and I will touch a little bit on that as we go along. There will be a transmission towards the end of this video, and feel free to receive that transmission as many times as you so desire, and if your intuition is calling you to receive it multiple times, then feel free to do that. It is a common theme that has been coming up across different areas of reality, and it's something that I did touch on, but it's coming up more because there's just so much to release. So yeah, there are a couple of points that I've been sort of feeling over the past couple of days. The first thing that came to my awareness was about weaving timelines. It came to me through encountering spiders, and this particular spider that is in my little garden, it's been spinning webs like nothing I've ever seen before. Usually spiders are quite common here, the little black ones that just feel like ants to me now, but this one in particular is black and yellow, and it's huge. It doesn't feel dangerous to have it in my place. Obviously don't touch it, but when I tuned into it, the first words that came to me were weaving timelines. And just like how spiders weave their webs, to me, I feel that the message that this spider was giving me or giving us is about how they are master weavers, and that there are multiple timelines that are being woven into place, being converged or converging into one, the one that we are perceiving reality through, this one. So multiple timelines are, in a sense, collapsing into one, not really collapsing into nothing, but converging into this one that we're perceiving reality from. So that's the first theme for the Lion's Gate, or I would like to call it the solar gateway of this time period. And the reason why I would like to call it solar gateway instead of Lion's Gate, I will explain in the upcoming pointers. Something that is coming through right now as I speak is how you have the preconditioned belief that the highest timeline is not the one that you are perceiving reality from now. There is some sort of feeling, a belief that that something better is outside of you or outside of your reach, and almost impossible to experience in this lifetime. This is something that is part of a big theme of this solar gateway, that is about sovereignty. The highest, the best version of you is here and is now. This is the one that, in a sense, is real. You're here, you're experiencing this 3D reality, this 3D body right here, right now. And everything that is happening now, you are the creator and the created. If you haven't received a transmission from Anubis in my last video, I highly recommend. It is an audio transmission of, I guess, truth, the purest essence of what is. It's hard to really describe with words, which is why it is an audio transmission, instead of something that I am trying to break it down, to share in a format like this. Not to say that this transmission is any less, but that touches a very pure fabric of truth that will reawaken that truth within you. And that is your journey to take, and I'll let you experience that yourself. So this is the one. Don't let any others tell you that there is a force, that there is a being, or that there is something that is outside of you that you need to reach for, that you need to attain, that you need to be in order to be that someone you want to be, to have that you want to have. Yeah. The second point is what I briefly mentioned in the intro. The solar codes that are coming through is something that we have never experienced before. It's because humanity has reached a certain frequency, threshold, or bandwidth to be able to receive these codes. So previously, it was not able to penetrate through the density of our reality, but now, because our collective consciousness is rising, and therefore Earth's consciousness is also so intertwined with the collective consciousness, and therefore it is able to come through for us to receive. These solar codes, they're not just solar, they're also stellar, and it actually awakens dormant DNAs in us, remembrance of truth. And so that is linked to the fourth and the last point that I want to talk about, which is the collapse of a lot of false light. But before that, the third point is about an evolution of humanity into the next. So it's kind of like in the past, during dynastic time, when a dynasty reigns for like hundreds or thousands of years, and then it falls, and then the next comes, and then it reigns for a couple of hundreds and thousands of years again. It feels like that at the moment, that humanity has finished up a chapter, but a chapter is not even the right energy to explain this, because it is not just a chapter. It is like a sequel to an entire movie, for example, like Hunger Games or like Dune or I don't know what other movies, but there are different parts to it, and it feels like it is the ending of a sequel and moving on to the next. So it's not entirely separate, it is still linked, but it marks the end of this. And then now it's a completely new trajectory or level of evolution. So now moving on to the last point, which I guess is the silver thread or the golden thread that weaves it all together. It's funny because I'm seeing the vision of like the spider's, what is it called? The thing, the web, silk, is that called silk? Yeah, the thread that weaves everything together, which is what the transmission is going to be about restoring the organic light of this gateway, false light. So false light is collapsing, and you probably have tuned into it or felt into it. Even if you don't intentionally tune into it, you probably have seen on social media. Previously, I've talked about it in the spiritual community context, right? A lot of distortions. And I'm not saying this from the perspective of what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's evil. It's all these are still, dual in nature. What I'm trying to put across in this video or in this sharing is that actually a lot of people who are running these distorted frequencies, I use that word very cautiously because distortion doesn't mean evil. It doesn't mean that that person has purposefully or intentionally said something or transmitted something or created something with the intention or with an evil intention, with a bad intention, with the intention of harming someone. A lot of people in the spiritual community or in other areas, not just the spiritual community, but the spiritual community just amplifies a lot of this thing because there is a mask behind, it's easy to hide behind love and light, right? Like justifying what you do because it is in divine love, because it is a guidance from whatever being. So some are intentional, but I would say 90% of what you see, the people who are doing it are not even aware, and that is just part of the journey. It's like we need to forget to remember. We need to separate to remember what, at the end of the day, everything is about. So in this reality, the paradox is the duality, right? The paradox is everything that seems so real, but actually the truth is all it is not real at all. It feels like it's everything, but it's actually nothing because it is nothing to begin with. And I know this can feel very, what's the word? It can feel uncomfortable to even ponder on this paradox because the very reality is that we grasp onto anything that we can find to prove our realness, to prove our identity, to prove our decisions, our life, everything. But at the end of the day, it is nothing. It's like walking on this line, like this cable across a valley, right? You're trying to walk on this line and balance this paradox. Because in very transcendental states, you might have felt that all this is an illusion, but it is a very, very real illusion. And even if this life is an illusion, it is a very real one, and it's not about escaping it, but really bringing this truth that you have touched in these states into your life. That is the point. The point is not to forget about this human life and, escape all of this and blame it and blame life as suffering and this and that. No, it's about enjoying all of it, moving through the highs and the lows, and that balancing point is the embodiment of this paradox. So yeah, anyway, back to this false light thing. So there's a lot of collapse of false light in communities, in not just the spiritual community, but also in different areas, like organizations or systems. The main thing that is coming through is about certain stellar alignments, or what we so-call portals, gateways, and Lionsgate being one of them. And now I kind of understand why the message is coming through from the Sphinx, because the Sphinx itself shows the hijacking of what was original, the original blueprint of what this is. That the face of the Sphinx is not an Egyptian pharaoh. When I first even fell into the energy of the Sphinx, before I saw it in person, it felt to me like a lioness. And Egypt has a lot of these distortions going around. If you've been there before, you might have felt a little bit confused about what's going on, and that's actually part of the energy at play. It is because there's so much overlays of different things across its entire history, different organizations, groups, political maybe, I don't know, agenda, that sort of are laid over each other, and it reflects actually us. Like when we're first born into this realm, we don't have that many, overlays on us, whether it's societal conditioning or family-wise, things that you pick up in school, all these different belief systems that you think are yours, but they're not actually yours to begin with. And then as you go on this journey, you remove them, right? You peel them away, and your truest divine diamond body, crystalline body, then shines through, and then you tune into and reconnect with it. So the journey to Egypt, the journey in Egypt, is very reflective of one's path of remembrance, soul remembrance. That's why, to me, it always feels like a pilgrimage, a soul pilgrimage. When a place or a certain celestial event has a lot of attention or is very powerful in its nature, it is very normal for a lot of attention to be in that place or that event. So particular places, for example, Abydos temple is very powerful to begin with, but yet at the same time, it is also very distorted. That was one of those temples where I went to when I immediately felt super uncomfortable. At first I didn't know what it was, but then after my second trip and after everything has slowly sort of settled down, unfolded, then it made sense. Why? So the most potent events or places on earth, I'm not just saying like temples, but even like naturally occurring places, energy vortexes, they might also be one of the most distorted ones. An example that I have felt in my journey in Greece are caves. Caves are actually almost like when you go in, like time slips, and yeah, it's like a portal to somewhere. But because of that, people might have used it for whatever reasons, and the energies get trapped there, the intentions get trapped there, and it can get really dark in certain caves. So yeah, things like that are part and parcel of our reality, our life, our journey. And so recently I've come to, I guess, also become more aware that one of my primary functions is to clear these distortions and to restore the original template of whether it's a place or a being, a person. It's become quite clear after the trip in March in Egypt and then April in Greece of this year. Oh wow, it's this year. Felt like it was last year already. Wow. Okay, so I've rambled quite a bit. It's always like that. So back to the point, the question is not about who hijacked certain things, why they did it. That's not really relevant to address, but what is important and what is relevant, most relevant to put your attention on instead of, all of that I see them as distractions. Because so what if you found the answer? So what if, you knew? At the end of the day, you come back to the same thing, which is, okay, I take back my sovereignty and I focus on my truth. So that is a key thing that is coming through as a result of this discussion, which is sovereignty. And I feel like the Sphinx emanates this very, very strongly. Have the courage to face yourself, have the courage to face your truth, and have the courage to emanate the truth. I use the word emanate, not the word speak, because when we speak, words actually distill the original meaning of a lot of things, and that kind of goes back to what I mentioned about most people are not even aware that what they're sharing is only part of the truth. It's not all the truth. It could be a variety of reasons, like you know, where they are at in terms of their journey. Of course, that plays a part. Culture, which is why Sanskrit, or not just Sanskrit, but like ancient texts and ancient teachings, it's so hard to find a commentary that is originally what was when it came through in that language. Because the language in itself is already influenced by culture. The words that are used in English, even though there is a direct translation in Mandarin or in Chinese, if you feel into it, you will be able to understand that, or you'll be able to feel within yourself that these languages actually have different expressions, or the meaning, deeper meaning of it is actually different. So at the end of the day, when someone channels and they speak it out in like English or in whatever language, like your tongue, that filter process itself is already not 100% what it originally was. But that doesn't make this transmission useless or bad. Because that's what I feel. A lot of people think that distortion equals to evil intentions. That's why I refrain from using the word distortions or false light, but then at the same time we are living in this dualistic nature that these words are needed to. So don't take these words on a superficial level, but just let it like work on your field and feel into it, right? If it triggers you, it triggers you, and that is an invitation to look at what is being triggered within you and to come to your own truth around certain things. That is my service as well. So is there anything else that I need to talk about? So in conclusion, most important thing is your own sovereignty, discernment, and your own truth. Everything is literally within you. The separation is an illusion, and I know this phrase has been thrown around so much. What is it really? I invite you to sit in silence with it, to meditate on it, and let it show you what you need to know instead of what I am telling you. And that is the same with any transmissions that you receive. It doesn't mean that you cannot, watch these videos or receive this card readings. It just is a reminder for you that whatever people say, they can only guide you. They can only point out certain things to you. And whether that resonates with you or not is one thing. And whether that feels true to you is your responsibility. And nobody can tell you what to do, tell you what's right, tell you what's wrong. And we've been living in this for so long that it is time to tune back into ourselves. So that is the main message, and we'll move on to the transmission. Welcome to your energy session to restore the true organic templates of this stellar alignment, this gateway, this portal. Take a deep breath into your belly and release out of your mouth. One more time, deep breath into your belly. And as you release out of your mouth, allow your body to sink into the ground beneath you. Deep breath into your belly. And as you breathe out, feeling the pull, the galactic pull of the galactic core. Now gently tuning into your heart space, feeling the radiance in your heart. This light that is always there. This vibrational hum emanating through your heart to your entire body. Feel it in your arms, in your head, in your chest, in your navel, in your hips, your legs, and allow this resonance to pulse through your entire being, the entire planet, galaxy, and beyond. Narai shete no kumu kwai 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 shete. Honoring the organic blueprint, the Sirius A, B, and C. Shtekere na e muku nuku kunuku a e shite na e shite na e shite na e kana e shutumuku a e shite na e shite na e shite na. Honoring our sun and our solar system. E shite kara e ne 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 a shara ke ne 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 a shara e ke ne shutukumu wa e shite na e shite na e shite na. Honoring Leo, karai tete no kumu kwai shite no kukumai shite no kukumai shite no kukumai shita karai shite no kumuai shite kinai sha. Kotoku no kukumuai shite na shite na. Honoring our great central sun. Karai ne tu kumu kuku kunu kuku kumu kue shite rekira ene shutukuru umuku uai shite naisha. Honoring the moon, and even though this is a solar gateway, balance is important. Calling in the divine organic templates of Luna, kara ene shutur kumu ai shite no kumu ai shite no kumu ai shite no kuai shite no kuai shite no. calling in the organic templates of the rose. There is no need to do or to know what to do, because when you remember, when you touch the very essence of your truth, everything restores itself. You're not bounded by karmic laws. You end the ascension-descension loop. You restore the organic blueprint of you and all that is. There is no fear of impersonation. There is no fear of being hijacked. There is no fear of false light. Because all of this, they don't exist when you remember the truth of what is. Before creation, before Om even existed, before anything was, you already exist. Calling in the master weavers of time, restoring broken timelines. Inviting in highest and purest light of the Son Kumaras. The seraphims uku uru ukwaishta kaishta kaishta kai enu unu kwaisha teku kwaisha teku kwaisha shkarai ne tukuru kumo o waishiraish. The Pleiadian Council of Light. Guru Mugwaish te go gwaish te guru gwaish gwai tetanish. highest and purest emanation of Elohim, Karai Shōra, Karai Shōra, Karai Shōra, Go Kai Shero, Go Go Kwai She Arai Ne To Go Mo Waish, Shkarai She Tenu Moko Waish, Shkai Se Ni To Kum Kwai She Tenu Kuku Kwaisha. Repairing the broken grids, pathways, Shōra, 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 Eshe Tero, Eshe Tero, Eshe Tero no Oi Shetana. Restoring the divine order. Kai sha 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 shu sha sha shu sha shu. The diamond light template matrix of the gateway. Kirai nai shite no kukwai shite nai shite ka itete no kwaisha of the Sphinx. Shte eshte 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 e. Shte rai tete no kukwaisha. That is modulating, breaking down a lot of the solar emissions that is modulating and breaking down a lot of the solar codes during this gateway. Ai shai she shirai nai shiterai nai shitenai na, restoring the diamond prism. Kuru uai shitakara ishutatana ishu tukua ishitara etera tatenu ukua ishitara taratana shitakara ishitinu tupukua ishitakara e kukwai shai tai 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 no shitakara ishtakara ishtakara ishtakara. Calling in the presence of the Divine Mother. E karai te no 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 kuai shi ta 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 ukurai shinai mukwai shirai mukwai shirai nai shtakarai nai shtakarai nai shtakarai na e karai. Take a deep breath in. Allow all of this energy work to settle into your field, into your heart space. Allow it to resonate in your being for as long as you need to. Sealing this work, sealing your field, sealing this gateway. The work that is done on this gateway in its divine protection, in its divine order, in its purest divine form. Arai shitenai ke hoko shitai shite shitakarai nai mu uku 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 ai shitakarai nai. Thank you so much for receiving this. And if you do feel a strong resonance to journey to Egypt feel free to check out the upcoming journey. The link is in the description box below. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.